Warning to the chosen ones, the demon behind your financial struggle. Watch this. They told you that your financial struggle is because you're lazy, undisciplined, not focused enough, not smart enough. They said if you just worked harder, woke up earlier, or believed in yourself more, everything would change. But what if that's not true? What if there's something else at work here, something ancient, something invisible, a force that's been haunting people like you for centuries? I'm not here to sell you hope. I'm here to show you the trap. You see, people with deep minds, people who feel too much and think even more, they were never meant to chase money the way the world demands it. Not because they can't, but because something inside them resists it, quietly, consistently, and violently. There's a reason you self-sabotage every time you get close. There's a reason your mind is sharp, your soul is sensitive, but your bank account always seems empty. There's a reason you see through the system, but still feel trapped inside it. And no, it's not a coincidence. There's a demon behind your financial struggle. Not a literal one, but a psychological one. An archetype that feeds on those who were never built for shallow living. Let me explain. In ancient times, wealth wasn't just gold. It was land, cattle, labor, ownership. And the people who acquired it were rarely the poets, rarely the dreamers. It was the warlords, the rulers, the priests, the tacticians, men and women who understood control. Not truth, not meaning, control. The mystics? They were always on the fringes, walking barefoot through deserts, living in caves, writing in ink while empires burned. They had visions, not vaults. They had insight, not income. And somehow we inherited their minds. We, the modern mystics, the sensitive ones, the deep thinkers, the questioners. We were born into a world that still worships power but punishes awareness. And this is where the demon lives. Not in your wallet, in your wiring. You were taught to feel shame when you didn't conform. When the 9-to-5 drained you. When chasing commissions felt hollow. When selling yourself felt like selling your soul. And because of that shame, you assumed the problem was you. You started to believe the lie, that you're just not cut out for success. That maybe you're cursed, but what if the curse is clarity? The clearer you see the game, the harder it is to play it. It's like trying to enjoy a magic show after you've learned every trick. You can't fake or anymore. You can't pretend to be impressed. That's the burden of awareness. You were born with a compass that points to depth, not dollars. You crave impact, not influence. You want to create, not compete. But the world isn't built for people like that. At least, not yet. Let me tell you something, the system doesn't want you to know.
Your financial struggle, it's not a failure. It's a symptom, a rebellion, a quiet protest from the most authentic part of you. It's your soul refusing to monetize itself. It's your psyche saying no to a machine that only values output, not essence. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Let me translate that. Until you understand why you keep ending up broke, stuck, or sabotaging yourself, you'll think this is just your destiny. But it's not. It's a pattern. One passed down through generations of artists, healers, intuitives, and empaths. People who never fully fit into the structure of capitalism. Because capitalism doesn't ask, "Who are you?" It asks, "What can you do for me?" And if you're someone who measures life in meaning, not metrics, you become an anomaly, an outlier, an inconvenience. You're not meant to compete in a race you don't believe in. But here's the paradox: you still need to survive. So, what do? Most people make one of two choices. They either give in, trade truth for comfort, sell their soul in bite-sized payments, climb the ladder knowing it's leaning against the wrong wall, or they check out, live on the margins, convince themselves that poverty is purity, that being broke is a badge of honor. But both are extremes. Both are traps. The real path, it's harder, it's quieter, and it requires alchemy. You have to learn how to transmute your depth into value, not exploit it, not dilute it, but offer it. Not everyone will get it, but some will. And those are the people who will pay you, not just for what you do, but for who you are. Think of James Baldwin. He wasn't wealthy by Wall Street standards, but his words moved nations. They still do. He found a way to turn his fire into form, to take the pain of being too awake in a sleeping world and translate it into truth. That's your task, not to chase money, but to chase alignment and let money follow that. And yes, that takes strategy, not hustle, not hype, but structure. You need to build something that honors your essence, a product, a service, a message, something that lets people feel seen, heard, understood. That's where the value is. In a world starving for meaning, depth is the new currency. But here's the warning, that demon I spoke of earlier. It doesn't disappear when you find your purpose. It gets louder. It whispers things like, "Who are you to charge for this? Why would anyone pay for your truth? Isn't this just a spiritual scam?" And that's when you'll want to shrink again. Play small. Hide behind free content. Overgive. Undervalue. Don't. Because that voice is not your intuition. It's your conditioning. The residue of centuries that told the mystic to stay poor, the healer to stay hidden, the artist to starve. You break that curse by building, not just dreaming, by charging, not just giving.
You do it by standing in your worth, even when your bank account doesn't reflect it yet. You speak the truth, even when no one's listening yet. You show up before the crowd arrives. Because when the world catches up, and it will, they'll say you were lucky, but you'll know better. You'll know you faced the demon, and didn't flinch. You didn't let shame dictate your destiny. You didn't sell your soul, but you also didn't sacrifice your stability. You merged the two, and in that merger lies your liberation. So if you've been feeling stuck financially, emotionally, spiritually, maybe it's not a blockage. Maybe it's a transformation. Maybe you're in the void between who you were forced to be and who you're finally becoming. So here's what I want you to do next. Not hustle, not panic, reflect. Where have you been rejecting money because deep down you associate it with losing yourself? Where have you been sabotaging your growth because success would mean visibility and visibility means vulnerability? And what if you stopped seeing money as a measure of your worth and started seeing it as a tool to amplify your impact? Because here's the truth. You are not too sensitive. You are not too weird. You are not too much. You are just too real for a world still addicted to illusion. But the world is waking up, slowly, desperately, and when it does, it will need guides, creators, thinkers, feelers, people like you. But to lead, you have to rise, not just spiritually, financially. So this isn't just a warning, it's a call. Build something, share your voice, charge what it's worth, break the pattern, and don't look back. Because the demon only wins when you stay silent. And you were chosen to speak.